So we're going to talk about some attitudes that we could carry. We could start off our day with some awesome attitudes, and I'm going to just share again some perspective on different thoughts that we could think of. Not yesterday's tragedy, but today's glory. Who you think you are determines what you're going to do and what you're going to attract in life. So again, what are we telling ourselves? What stories are we telling ourselves? If you feel like you're the ugly duckling, you're not going to sign up for that beauty contest. So let's talk about some of these attitudes and how we could really use them to reshape us. And first, acknowledge what we're already thinking. So the truth, has your truth about yourself been false? Are you dwelling on your positive experiences or are you dwelling on your failures? Now just remember this, we're going into different places, we're seeing different folks, but we're showing up as a certain way. And I want to talk about this truth because we're always telling ourselves stories. We're not always clear on who we are and what we're capable of. That's why action is important. Until you take action, you'll never know what you're capable of. So let me share a scenario. Everyone here, before you are finance managers, for those who are finance managers, you're doing something else, whether it be sales, maybe not even in the industry. Now, when the idea of becoming a finance manager came up, you would envision that idea and said, hey, I think I'm capable of this. I'm not sure. Some might have said, oh, I don't know if that's for me. Let me give it a shot. Well, everybody here who actually took the step forward and stepped into that role and started applying yourself, you saw the success. You're now a finance manager. Now you could say, I'm a finance manager. So just remember this. We're capable beyond measure. You don't have to wait to tell yourself to be something, to be able to tell yourself who you are. Just know that whatever you do, as long as you put in the daily activity, you're going to show up. So I'll give you a little story about me. I was asked to be an MC at a wedding, for my cousin's wedding. It was very last minute. So I took the mic because I'm very confident in saying yes. I believe that I have to say yes and just go through because I noticed that whenever you take a step, resources just show up. You don't even have to know what you're doing. So anyways, I developed a strategy. I wanted to talk about some serious content, and then at the end of that content, I want to end off with a joke. So anyway, after I did the MCing for that night, I went to my brother and I felt like, man, this sucked. This was not great. My brother said that was amazing. I'm like, he's my brother. So I wrote it off. So I really didn't feel good about my presentation. It was on my mind. But as I walked through the crowd, people would come up to me and they'd say, hey, Mike, how many times have you MC'd in the past? That was great stuff. 2 people asked me to be an MC at their wedding. Some person said it was the best MCing they had. So all of a sudden, I started feeling good about myself. But the issue is I invested in somebody else's feedback. So why do we have to wait for someone to tell us that we're good before we believe that we're good? You know what? We just need to show up. Show up as yourself, your true self, and you know that everything you do, that you put your mind to and you focus on daily will grow. So just keep that in mind. You have to learn to see the truth of who you are, and who you are is unmeasurable. Imagination. Neglected fields will not produce prolific results. So a neglected imagination ain't going to push you, paint that picture of yourself that you want to be. So just remember, imagination is such an amazing tool. Now, here's how amazing it is. You could think of tomorrow and the doom and gloom that you create in your mind, and you could be crying today. You could think of yesterday's things that happened for you to grow, and you could be crying today. So why don't we use that blueprint? Why don't we use that imagination to envision great crops, green pastures? It works both ways. The mind doesn't know the difference between a real and a not real situation. Is what you tell yourself. So just remember, you have to learn to use your mental picturing to plot a path that you want to see instead of plotting a path of destruction. Again, before we got into this role of finance manager, we all thought, oh, I hope it works. I hope it will do great. But do you notice every time you step forward and you apply yourself, bigger things happen, more than you ever imagined. And it's very consistent in your life. So our job is just to move forward. So just remember this. Again, part of the daily attitudes is making sure you're telling yourself those right stories. Relaxation. Life is too short to waste your time worrying. I mean, let me ask a question. Did worry offer you yet a minute or an hour in your day? Let's even go further. Peel back that onion a bit. If you reduced or removed all the worry from your life, would things still have showed up? So look back in your own life. Why are we still worrying? Instead of worrying, use your own history to know that all you have to do is take a step forward. Things come in. That's how it works. That's how life has always been for you. Who really does have the answers? We're always going into a situation with doubt. But what happens is far more. So just remember, don't base your smiles on somebody else's reaction. So you have to be careful of that because no one is perfect. So how do you relax? You want to maintain your peace. What does this mean? Forgive somebody. We all have different life experiences. We're 1 out of 7 billion people. So if we're going to look at someone and judge them, what's going to happen is we're just carrying that weight with us. Everywhere we go, we're thinking about what we're saying about this person. We're thinking about what we're saying that person. But instead of understanding that they have their own unique life, it allows us to understand a little more and let go of that burden so we could focus on those positive aspects. So just remember, we have all the control. Winning feeling. It predetermines your effort. So do you wake up thinking, I'm going to win today? Or do you wake up thinking, you know what? I'm going to lose today. It makes a big difference. Now let's boil it down to our daily activities in the job. When a finance deal comes in, 8.99% finance, 84-month term, leg in the deal, we're super happy. We feel like we're going to win. That customer comes into the showroom, we're so excited. The customer could come in with a Birchwood cup of coffee, and you're like, you know what? Put that aside. I'm going to get the lot guy to go to Starbucks to grab you some of the premium stuff. We're ready to jump hoops for that customer. Now, when a cash customer comes in, how are we feeling there? Are we feeling the same? Are we excited? Are we enthusiastic? So this is the issue. So what are we expecting where we're coming with that attitude of not feeling like we're going to win, right? The cash customer comes in, they're asking for coffee, and we're saying, go to the back and grab your own coffee. We don't treat them the same. So just remember, you want to go in life with a winning attitude. It's a choice that you have to make, but it makes a big difference in how you show up. So the idea of a winning attitude is it pushes your automatic success mechanism. And what does that mean? Your body does not know the difference between reality and your thoughts. So if you have a winning attitude plugged in, then what's going to happen? Your body's going to work with that. If you have an idea of being lost, being feeling like you're a loser, well, you're not going to win. So just keep that in mind because it's a very strong concept to understand. Good habits. Your habits added up and consolidated are you. Positive impact, you see success. Negativity, you're going to see failure. Now, success is a habit. Confidence is a habit. Proof in the pudding is, do you see anyone who has reached success who just showed up there? It's daily activities, it's daily habits. So if you look at your habits today and you're consistently plugging away, and you're consistently building your future, and you're consistently planting those seeds, you're going to see that success is going to show up around the corner. So again, if you don't feel like success is something that you're seeing or you're realizing, just look no further than your daily habits, and you're going to see how you can make that change because you change your habits, you're going to change your life. It's a very simple concept. Dedication to happiness. So you have to have a goal of some sort. Why not dedicate it to happiness? I mean, when you develop feelings, skills, and relationships that make you happy, don't you operate a little better? You know, it's easy to be sad. There's many reasons, but I tell you, like, it's a choice that you have to make. You know, a lot of people see me smiling up here, doing the dance and boogie, but at the end of the day, I got to put in the daily work. That's my habits. That's how I'm able to achieve what I have to achieve in life. That's how I'm able to start my business and try to grow the business. So I'll tell you a little story about me, just to be a little vulnerable. 2019, I was at Winnipeg Honda for 17 years at the time. Left the industry. Okay, that was my claim to fame. That was my identity. Left. I joined Auto Canada at that time. Okay, 2020, got separated from a 17-year-old relationship. I was married, separated. 2020, my brother died. All of a sudden, drug overdose. 2022, my new identity, this new job I had, they called me and said, we don't need you anymore. Done. Could you believe that whole time, anyone could have saw me, I wouldn't lose the smile off my face. Because life gives you change, and you're just supposed to do the best you can with it, and happiness is a choice. And I see myself still smiling today. I see the roses and grasses is green out there, but that's because I made a choice to stay happy. So things don't happen to you. They happen for you. So it's up to you to see the change that's offered for you and grow, because what skills are developed when change occurs. We'll be doing the same thing all our whole life until change hits us. Well, that change just offers you that hope and that newness that you need. So just focus on creating that happiness. That's the best you could do with the situation. It's going to serve you more better. Being yourself. Now, this is a tough one because a lot of times we alter our personality depending on who's in front of us. And this is a very scary one because a lot of people don't know who you are. So do you ever drive 100 miles an hour with a mask on your face? Nobody's doing that. But when you're running around life hiding your emotions, it's pretty much the same as having a mask on your face. Not only do people don't know who you are, you don't know who yourself is. So it's important and it's imperative to be your authentic self. Because no matter who you are, you know, I'm sure we could all agree with this. You could go into a situation with your best intentions to give someone some good quality advice. So you go to say this person, here's what I want to show you based on what I've seen, and they want to call you a jerk. They say, you're this, you're that. Well, no, makes sense. Well, you could go in with your regular personality and say, hey, you should not do this, you should not do that, you should do this, and they're going to call you the same thing. Do you know you'll always lose if you're going to focus on judgment from others? So the best way to be consistent and be yourself is to remove the mask. Let people know who you are, and you're going to attract the people in your life who need to be in your life to support you. So give yourself a smile of approval, right? Don't be wasting your energy on basing it off the smiles and frowns of other folks. Because like when I went up in that crowd, I didn't feel good about my emceeing. I felt horrible. But until somebody told me that, then I started feeling good about that. So you have to own yourself. You have to own that greatness in you because it's there. It's the story you tell yourself. Compassion. Now, compassion is an important one because it separates man and beast, so to speak, right? I mean, if you're compassionate, you have that warm feeling inside. You know, you help somebody else. How many of you help somebody else? You feel good about it. It allows you to move your day feeling productive. But you're not compassionate and understanding to other folks, then you're going to find that it's going to ruin your day. So the reason why this is on the 10 attitudes is because, again, when we judge people, when we're not compassionate, we're not thinking about them, when we're not considering their feelings, and we're just basically absorbing that negative energy. So you want to be very careful on absorbing some of these judgments, some of these things that we feel about other folks, and just focus on ourselves. Because the growth is going to be when we look in the mirror. It's not going to be outside of us. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do with it. Accept your weaknesses, you know. At the end of the day, no matter how good you are, there's no guarantees in life. You're not good at everything. So if you just accept your greatness, what's going to happen is you're going to feel good while things are great. But again, things don't last forever. So there'll be days where you're down and under, where you feel weak. And if you don't accept your weaknesses, that strength doesn't matter. You could hardly be consistent. You could hardly be secure in yourself. So if you accept your weaknesses as well as your strength, then you're going to find that you're going to be able to sustain change. You're going to give yourself some grace when those periods are when you're not maybe producing as much as you need to produce. So you have to understand that you're not great at everything, but what you're great at is indoors. What you're not great at, use it as a area to learn and grow. Live through your mistakes. This is very important because, you know, a lot of us did things in the past where we define who we are. We might have made a mistake. We might have not did something right. And then all of a sudden today we keep referring back and thinking about it. Well, what if I said that you couldn't make a mistake? I'm not sure how many people would agree with me, but think of it this way. You do the best you can with what you have, what you know, how you feel at the time, your beliefs, your values. You couldn't do any better. So use yesterday as a learning lesson. Use yesterday as some feedback so you know what you need to work on. Life is beautiful. Just because you see a problem doesn't mean it exists. Because two people could be seeing the same thing, and someone with a happy attitude could say, hey, look, this is a way we could do it better. Someone who has a not so great attitude is going to see it as doom and gloom. So again, use your trials and tribulations as feedback for things you need to work on and how to be a better person.